What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am still trying to prep the 1000 SP for the haul to New Brunswick, Canada. We leave in 2 days, a day and a half. Never stops. All right, so we leave in 2 days. I have today and tomorrow's load up day. Car's got to go on the trailer tomorrow. We're taking the Auto Union 1000 SP and we're taking the 1960 BMW 700 up to New Brunswick, Canada for the Complex Union Show roll call. Now, since my health scare last week and a few days laid up in the hospital, I've cut a lot out. I've trimmed a lot of fat of the to-do list on this thing. So what I'm doing right now is I've at least gotten the airlift 3P management set up in the car. So I've cut a piece of MDF and mounted the compressor, manifold, and flow air ride tank to it. This is not where everything's going to go in the long run, but for right now, it's just in on the back, like new parcel shelf. And what I'm doing is just making a modular setup just for the show so I can air it up and down to get it in and out of the arena since the car isn't running and driving yet. I mean, the motor's in it, the motor runs, but we don't have pedal cluster, car isn't wired or anything like that yet. I'm not filming a lot of this because this is all temporary. We'll do a full episode on the final management and where everything's gonna go. I've got a lot of really cool ideas for that. But we've got my winch battery in here. I've just kind of wired some stuff up. Don't worry about heat shrink stuff. This is all just for the weekend. But what I did do was I put a little switch over here. Also made a custom airlift 3P manifold plate with 2-color acrylic. What I have done is I put a little switch there so I can keep everything hooked up when I bring the car in. And I haven't calibrated anything yet. So let's just flip this switch and see what happens. Hey, we got power. Compressor should kick on. All right, guys, well, the 3P system is calibrated and temporarily in the car. And now the car is airing down from its own power source and management. That is one more thing done before we load the car up. We got so much to do today. So much to do today, including all of the Tuner Evolution Philly Awards. I have to assemble and acrylic weld 40 of these too, because those have to be out before we leave. All right, guys, next morning, truck's loaded up with almost everything for the booth. All the booth stuff's loaded up. I want to put my wireless controller on my winch, if that doesn't take too long, and tools that we hopefully won't need. Gonna bring my cool little Milwaukee portable air compressor, big time impact, zip ties, tools, hand tools, sockets, test light, wire, and then we'll load the car up. But before we load the car up, the EvaResto front bag beam under the Auto Union has 2 tow hooks, and it's great. I love that Max put the tow hooks there. But the way that the car is gonna sit at the front of the trailer, those tow hooks are gonna sit on my headboard, which is basically like 3.5-inch channel that's welded to the front of the trailer. Before the car can sit as low. I don't like airing my cars out completely on the trailer because then it's reliant on only the trailer suspension going down the road. If you leave it aired up a little bit, you get the suspension of your car and the suspension of the trailer, and I just feel like they ride better. So I'm gonna cut that first. Obviously, I've got 2 hours to get loaded up because I've got a haircut this morning and other things that, like, you know, normal life things that I've forgotten to do all week. So those tow hooks will literally sit like here and here. I'm gonna take some measurements real quick. I'm gonna cut the front of that channel. All right, guys, get the 1000 SP pushed out, set up, didn't die, didn't go down the long hill. It's a little bit of downhill the second you get outside this garage door. And I'm doing this solo. almost fell off my trailer a second before you called me. So. All right, guys, well, the cars are on the trailer and I am smoked, just cooking. Definitely didn't want to do that in 100-degree heat. I originally wanted to get loaded up before the sun got in the yard. That didn't happen. So we are loaded up and man, I'm telling you guys, this is the dream. Look at how crazy it is that the 1000 SP is slimmer and smaller than the 700. How does that even make sense? The 700 next to a stock Volkswagen Beetle is the craziest thing I think I've ever seen in my life. And it really goes to show you how small the BMW 700 actually is. To realize that the 1000 SP is slimmer and shorter is just bonkers. The fins give it this really crazy big presence, this American car presence, 57 Thunderbird presence, but it's really quite small. All right, guys, just ran into town, got fuel, and while I was out, the blower motor stopped working in the truck. It's 100 degrees Fahrenheit today, probably higher, and it's supposed to be in triple-digit heat the entire week. Of course this happens. The one good thing is while I'm in motion, cold air is coming through the vents. It's the blower motor, not the AC. So at 75 miles an hour on the highway, we should have plenty of AC coming in. But boy, oh boy, sitting in traffic, it's gonna be hot. All right, guys, good morning. We are between Chattanooga and Knoxville, Tennessee right now, on our way to Canada. So far, literally lost the mirror to the 1000 SP. Come on. We're an hour into the drive and the actual housing of the mirror is gone. Ah, what a bummer. All right, well, hopefully that's it. No more parts falling off these things. All right, we'll catch up with you guys when the sun comes up. Okay, well, that somehow survived on the deck of the trailer for like a half hour. Oh my gosh, I'm out of it. All right, guys, we are in Virginia, just outside of Roanoke. Just grabbed lunch. I was feeling really good all week, and figures we're getting in the truck now on the road, and I'm feeling a little iffy, but I'm doing okay. We had a bit of a divine signaling of sorts. We hit a massive pothole with the trailer. The trailer has a wider track width than the truck, and we hit something super hard, and it rocked the trailer. So I pulled over just to make sure everything was good. And lo and behold, the driver's side bumperette was hanging off. I mean, hanging, like the tongue was holding it up. So I took that off. The bolts here are tight. It's my own fault because I didn't put locking washers or nylock nuts on them. I just mounted them when I made the brackets and then just ran it, totally forgetting that they could work their way loose. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take these incredibly rare new old stock clear markers off, because with my lock, the truck will kick a rock up right into one of these things. So I'm going to take these off, and yeah, hope these brand new Hellas survive the trip as well. All right, guys, so I kind of can't believe that the camera stayed on the deck of the trailer for like 20 minutes worth of highway speeds. It's an absolute miracle that camera stayed on the deck of that trailer. Just nuts. We're gonna try to make it as far as Scranton tonight. Normally, we just hammer. 20 hours, 24 hours, no problem. Let's go. But, as you guys may remember, I spent 4 days in the hospital at the beginning of last week. It hasn't even been a week yet. I feel like I probably shouldn't be out here in 100-degree heat. It's furnace, by the way. It's checking on your pizza in the oven temp outside right now. Spoke with my father. We actually might stop in New Hampshire on our way up to Canada. It's out of the way. Well, we're going through New Hampshire, but my parents' place is out of the way for the route we're going. But he found a blower motor at a local parts store with a resistor, and we're gonna do it. All right, guys, next morning, we are just outside of Wilkes-Barre. Actually, we're out beyond Scranton now. We've been driving for a little bit, and we are on 84, headed into New York, and then over to Connecticut. And we're gonna go see my buddy Jimmy Oakes this morning. We're gonna swing by his shop and hang out with him for a couple hours before heading on to New Hampshire. Look at this guy. We have made a detour, small detour, to come see some really good friends of mine. So we're at my friend Jimmy Oakes' shop. We've been here for a couple hours now, just hanging out. I haven't seen him in a while. All right, Jimmy.
How are you? First stop. Is this the first stop on the trip so far?
We made a stop last night.
Okay.
We did 16 hours yesterday,
Jesus.
and then 3 hours here. So almost left. The rookie YouTuber and me forgot to film anything for
It's
what
the
I'm
worst.
doing.
You leave and you're like, oh my god, we were just having a good time.
I know, that's it. Like so it's hard for me to like remember.
You'll break it one day. I think we were in Poland last year, and I was chirping you about that. Remember? I think we were both. Going
Well, I was holding the camera by my side, and you were like, "You using that?" And I was like,
turn it on,
"Yeah."
bro. Come on.
But this is my first time here at your shop, and
Welcome.
it's awesome. I mean, this is like
There's a lot of stuff crammed in here. Yeah.
this is like a dream setup. I mean, you've obviously grown into it,
Yeah.
but man, to just walk in and see all the projects here is just
It's like
mental.
there's always that. If you have a space, you always end up filling it up, no matter
Yep.
what. Like,
Can't be big enough.
It can never be big enough.
Nope.
We got to come up with a name for that, but
Yep.
you get us like we even got like the little extension space, and I was like, great, we're gonna use this. We're gonna leave it empty, and then
Door to door.
Yeah.
Door to door.
that's how it goes
Yeah.
every time.
The stuff he's got going on right now is wild. I think maybe my favorite project you got going on right now is the Maserati pallet.
Yeah, I mean that's
That's
very you. This is very you.
yeah. So he's got a G body, right? Yeah, G body 911 with a Maserati V8 going in the back of it.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, what's nice about it is the engine's pretty. I think it's a very pretty engine.
Yep.
It's it's very symmetrical. It looks very race inspired. It's a Ferrari design engine.
Right.
But they're super cheap. They sound super cool. Oh, and the best thing about it for this car is it's factory dry sump.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
So
yep,
obviously these engines hang in the rear, so having an oil pan that hangs is dangerous.
Yep, game over.
And so to get something that's already factory dry, something like the factory Porsche motor allows you to bolt it, you know, either not as high, you don't have to shoehorn it up in the car, so you have clearance, and so boom. With that comes other complications, of course, but like.
But I mean, you got it in though. The subframe looks amazing. All the motor mounts.
Thank you.
I'm anticipating this one. This one's one of my favorites for sure.
I mean, it's still now it's a water cooled engine.
Yeah.
And there's nowhere to nicely run anything in here because it's so small.
For airflow.
So I'm gonna have to do the Ludwick thing and just cut it to shit and make it fit. Like.
Yeah. Got to put one of these in something one day. I love 2Js.
I would love to see you take like some old weird thing that you love and just shove a pretty little JZ in it.
Dude, I haven't talked about it on the channel at all. I've got a massive drift itch. Massive drift itch.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're gonna overdo it though.
No, but I need to
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I need to underdo it though. It needs to be unique in its own way, but it needs to be like.
You could take a 240, right? Something that's just so figured out and everything's off the shelf, and just body swap it.
Yeah.
I would have.
Yeah. Well, my buddy Jay in Australia, Low Standards Jay, he did that with an Odyssey. He put an Odyssey over, I think, a 350Z.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
I know
350Z belly pan.
Huh.
Yep.
There
Baby.
you go.
Except never VQ, ever.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, never. It's been awesome to come here and check out all the cars and
For sure.
not just meet up at a show, but actually see where.
Happy you guys got a break from driving.
Yeah. How's Austin doing?
Good. So glad to see you guys.
Yeah. We're stoked to be here, man. All right, we're going to hit the road. It's been awesome hanging out with Jimmy and Austin and RJ and the boys for a little bit, and our trip continues. Yep. We made a slight detour, came up into New Hampshire to my parents' place. So we're here at my father's garage. As you can see, the bus is still here. Luckily, a local parts store here had a blower motor and a resistor available in stock for like 80 bucks.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, the blower motor's in, new resistor, new squirrel cage, metal squirrel cage. Huge thanks to my father for helping me out with that. I was broken last night. I didn't sleep the night prior. Haven't been feeling too well. Slept like a rock last night though. So we got a blower motor, we've got AC when we need it. And yeah, we're still loaded up. And today is the last stretch up to the Canadian border on the New Brunswick border. So we're going all the way to Eastern Maine today. About 6 hours, but we jump ahead an hour too. So we're on Eastern Standard Time on the East Coast of America, but New Brunswick is on Atlantic Time. So we're gonna lose an hour on the clock today, but we're hoping no problems getting over the border. It's gonna be a beautiful day today. The drive is beautiful. So let's get some coffee, let's get some food, and we'll be on our way. All right, guys, we are just east of Bangor, Maine, about 2 hours from the Canadian border. We're heading out Route 9. It's all woods driving from here. All right, guys, we are outside of Calais, Maine, almost on the Canadian border. We stopped at this services to just use the bathroom, but across the street, oh, you know, I grew up in New Hampshire. Kayla grew up on Long Island, New York. We are home. So we came across the street and ordered some lobster rolls because obviously lobster rolls. All right, we are home-ish. Northeast living. It's been a while since we've had a lobster roll.
It's so good.
The lobster rolls have been eaten.
They were the best.
But we are 7 miles from the Canadian border, from Calais, Maine. So hopefully we catch up with you guys on Canadian soil. We did it.
We're here.
We are in Canada. All right, guys, we made it to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. We're here. We're at the TD station once again. We were here last year, but we flew up. We made it. And let's just talk about how good the OBS is. Not a single problem, not a single oil leak. Unreal. And what just happened 2 seconds ago pulling the U-turn?
Some girl who's obviously local stopped and couldn't believe how clean this car was.
Just look at how clean it is. You're right. It's got a Tennessee plate on it. People from New Brunswick, Canada have never seen an OBS this clean before. I don't even think they came from the factory this clean up here. And here's Colin, the man. The man of the show. Well, I know you got a good team behind you.
Yeah, we got a lot of people involved.
We'll get unloaded in the next episode, which will be the episode of our weekend here. Just the show and the stuff we get into this weekend. Had some health issues, had some truck issues on the AC. Not a major issue, but some comfort issues. Can't wait to get this weekend started, get the cars off. Maybe Sunday we'll photograph them in here by themselves with nothing else in here, maybe. But that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. We are finally here. So stoked to play a part in Complex Union Roll Call this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next episode.